Hello, boss. Welcome to Healing with YB. In today's episode, it's probably not going to make much sense and be structured or organized because today's episode is just an episode for me to sit with my feelings, thoughts, and how to navigate um, this piece that I'm going through with my father. And so, yeah, I just wanted to get on here and go through that with you guys and show you guys the vulnerable pieces of the journey of a CSA survivor as well. I feel like usually when I come on here, I'm telling you something and I have it kind of figured out. I'm more emotionally regulated and I talk about pieces that hurt and then I cry, but today it will be like that too, but it won't be as, in a way, I don't know, maybe logical is the right word, because I will be not really telling you a lot of things that, how to navigate those pieces. I'm going to be showing you those pieces. Um, so yeah, um, this is going to be about my father and how my father has chosen my perpetrator over me and how I'm navigating that and my feelings. And yeah, it has been quite heartbreaking to finally witness the transition of watching when my father does certain things or reacts in certain way where I can see that he stands firm with my perpetrator. And it breaks my heart because that inner child in me still yearns for my father in that kind of way and is very saddened by the choice that my father has made and in a way doesn't want to accept that piece. And so today, while I'm recording this, I also had a session with my therapist, and I don't remember the last time or if I've ever actually cried so intensely like this in front of my therapist ever before, because the pain that I felt was just so deep, and it was so hard to allow that pain to come through me because I knew it was gonna hurt. And yeah, it just sucks that my father has made his choice and I'm now witnessing the treatment of what it's like to not be chosen by your father. As I continue to talk and live my truth, um, things are starting to change. And I'm starting to see that my father still stands in the position of wishing that I had kept quiet about it and not supporting me coming out and standing with my perpetrator and supporting him in his life more than he supports me. And that hurts. It hurts because I feel like I didn't do anything wrong. And he should have chosen me, and I have to accept eventually that he is not choosing me and he has made his choice, and I have to distance myself from him because it's only going to continue to hurt me when I continue to see his behavior around this. The thing that I kept telling my therapist is that it feels almost as if like my father really doesn't like me. Almost as if the more I talk about my truth and I live my truth, the more he hates me. And to live a life knowing that your father doesn't like you very much, it's sad. I think that in the beginning, when I still told him I was going to go through with this, and him and I were both kind of transitioning out and getting the wedding and everything over with, um, there was more sadness than there was this new version that I'm experiencing now of him, which is more of like dislike and anger, maybe. And so, before I was able to like sit with him in his sadness and empathize with him, but this peace, this hate or this dislike from him, um, lack of support from him is different from that first piece. And so it's another thing that I have to accept. And I think admitting to yourself that your father doesn't really like you is heartbreaking, because I genuinely don't believe that I did anything wrong. Imagine just wanting to live your truth, your most authentic self, and someone doesn't like you for that. And that someone is your father, who is supposed to support you, encourage you, and stand by you through the toughest moments in your life. And instead, it's kind of like you against him and your perpetrator, the person who caused all of this. So, yeah, it's hard to navigate and to process this alone, because there's a big piece of me that is missing, and it's in a way being reminded of that this is where that piece stands now. And so it makes me sad and lonely. And even if my higher self, my core self, and my adult self can acknowledge that, my inner child, my inner child that only knew of my dad as the version that took care of her, loved her, and in a way stood up for her. That one time I made a post about it, and cared for her, and I was like a daddy's girl growing up. My dad was the parent that I was closer to out of the two. And so to now have my father stand on the other side, it's just really heartbreaking. My inner child is super sad. So episode is just going to be me crying and showing you the pieces of my inner child. And this is something that I go through, I feel like on a daily, with my therapist and the people around me, but I don't really show this piece of myself because it's a very vulnerable piece. You almost think as if, like, why would people cry on the internet? Why would people show themselves like this? And the truth is, it's because it's very sad and very lonely, and it's really them trying to find their community and to fill in that void that is missing and to find pieces that will help them heal that pain. So yeah, um, this is what I've been navigating and going through, and it's been really hard because I have like such strong protective shields too that has been not allowing this hurtful piece of myself to come through because it knows that it's going to be very hard to handle. And when I had that session with my therapist today, I realized that that protective shield and piece of myself, my protective part, was really, really strong, not allowing me to allow myself to be vulnerable. And I was so exhausted. I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't process my feelings. I just wanted to sleep and just be depressed. And it did what it had to do, to help me, I believe, like gain some energy to be able to allow this feeling to come through. And now I've got it to, like, it's come to the surface of my attention that I need to sit with that vulnerable piece of myself. And so, yeah, here I am. I think that my inner child still has a lot of hope, and I want to allow my inner child to have that hope. But my adult self wants to protect us in a way where um, we are aligned with our core self, and that we don't become unkind and we don't lose ourselves in the process of navigating this area with our father. So, yeah. I don't really know what to say anymore. I feel like I showed you something that I don't really show you, which is me releasing how I feel and showing you the thought process of when I talk to myself. And maybe maybe you're watching this and you're watching and like thinking like, oh my god, she's probably crazy talking about her protective parts and her inner child, blah blah blah. But this is something like in therapy that I've learned, which is called IFS therapy, and um, it works for me because I have a inner child in me that has been wounded so deeply. So when I talk about these parts and stuff, it makes sense if you know what IFS therapy is. But if you don't, search it up. I think I will probably have an episode talking about it. But um, it's it's a process to help you navigate these kind of feelings and emotions and how to, in a way, like heal. So yeah, I just also want to say that if you've ever experienced something that is just so heavy and so painful that you don't want to experience it, make sure that you check in with yourself and ask yourself if it's because you don't want to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And if you don't want to allow yourself to be vulnerable, ask yourself why. Is it because you don't have a safe space? Like the people around you just don't have the capacity for you? Maybe you don't have access to a therapist. Maybe you don't want to feel those deep wounds that hurt you, and you are busy and you have things to do and you can't sit in your emotions and your feelings. I just want to tell you that I hope that you take a moment to sit with that wound, because you will only get back to your higher self if you allow those feelings to come through and allow yourself to be that vulnerable. And you are human and you are allowed to be hurt by the thing that hurts you. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to seek help and to try and find a community or people that will help fill in that void in the most healthiest way. I hope that you don't turn to like binge eating or like alcohol or partying or drugs, because those are not the healthiest ways. But I hope that you do find healthy ways to help you navigate that really deep, hard wound of yours. Yeah, boss, I just wanted to get on here and show you how hard it can be being a CSA survivor sometimes. And even though right now I'm already like out there living my truth and trying to, I don't know, just show you the good things. I want you to know that as a CSA survivor, there are hard things that some survivors still have to go through. And for me, this is one of them. Like, I'm still navigating pieces of my journey. It just doesn't end just because I came out. There will continue to be things that will pop up, and this is my safe space to go through that. And so I just want to thank you guys for listening and being here with me in my pain and my thoughts and feelings. Yeah. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. And as always, stay being the bad boss that you are. Bye.